I'm in New York City, in lockdown, and I am comfortable in my awareness with myself, my soul, my infinite, whatever we want to describe it as. But when you mentioned the tantric thing, it made me wonder if I was sort of feeling this energy, like a kind of pull. I wouldn't say it was like an anxiety or stress energy. I would say it felt more empathic, like an empath, where, and obviously right now in this current environment that we are in, you sort of feel this, or I feel this powerful energy that like that, and maybe like the madness of what's going on in just the energy of everywhere right now. um and it made me think, if you're like a monk sitting in a cave meditating, but there's all the craziness of the world outside, how do I think you would say, well, don't worry about that, just focus on your own inner, awareness, happiness, peace. But how can you do that? Because also the lady from England with the pictures behind her, she was talking about unity. And even though it's about finding your awareness in yourself, don't you feel the collective energy right now that is
Absolutely. Of course.
such a shift, a massive shift right now? I mean, the world
Yes.
is going through such a amazing moment that I sort of actually feel selfish just sitting with my own awareness. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yes, it makes sense that what you're saying, but why do you feel that this is selfish? What is the one thing? I agree that the anxiety, the fear, the distress that people are feeling are palpable on the streets if you go out now.
Yes.
And if you read the news, or it's palpable. I agree with you. What is the one thing that everybody wants at this time?
Peace.
Peace, relief,
Yeah, health.
relief from anxiety, fear,
Yes.
uncertainty. It is, and so to, to discover to discover this peace, where it lies, and the means to it is not selfish. It is the least selfish of all activities. It's not a personal activity. It is the it is discovering that which everybody longs for, and not only discovering it, but discovering the pathway by which or through which it may be accessed, which will enable you then to share it with others with whom you come in contact in whatever form you share it.
And I do share it. I mean,
Well,
as
you
well
do.
as I can, as well as I can.
Everyone here shares it in their own way. Nor do I mean to imply that you said earlier on, you said, I'm sure you would just say, turn away from all of this and go to it. Well, actually, no, I wouldn't just say that. I would say that the most important thing in life, either in this crisis situation or indeed in any situation, is to find access to peace and happiness. Why? Because it is the one thing that we want above all else. But I would not suggest that we do this to the exclusion of paying attention to not only looking after our own body, but of looking after those with whom we come in contact, whether they are family members, friends, neighbors, community, and particularly in this time of crisis, I would recommend that each of us does whatever we feel we can do to attend to the situation and to help people, not just in the ultimate way, not just to find peace and uh, happiness
But in a
in
way,
relative ways as well.
Rupert, in a way, it's like an inside job, though, because I mean, random example, just walking outside in Manhattan to the bank to line up to, go into the bank, 5 people at a time, you could feel like palpable was the perfect description. You can feel just this sort of energy that is very different to the usual streets of Manhattan. And you virtually feel, that it just feels like all these lone people walking along the street lining up. There's a it feels like such a everyone's kind of in it on their own in a weird way. When you see them, like, you can chat to someone, say hello, obviously all of that, but it just feels like this shift that is so internal for everyone. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. I went first thing this morning. I got on my bicycle and just bicycled down to our local deli, and just as you describe, on a slightly smaller scale in Oxford, there was a queue of people, only 2 people. The shop is tiny, and they sell organic produce, and only 2 people allowed in the shop, and there was a queue down the road, and everyone was 6 feet apart. So I joined the queue, and we were all chatting with each other. In fact, I chatted in the time when I waited. Normally, I would have gone into the shop with 3 or 4 other people and got my groceries and left. I found myself standing in the queue for 20 minutes talking to people that I had never seen in my life, and may well, some of them I had seen because we're local, but others I hadn't. And there was such a feeling of community and friendliness. We were no longer strangers to each other. We were joined together in our common humanity. What was not only is the fear palpable on the streets, but also our common humanity is palpable on the streets. And I experienced people's openness, people's friendliness. I tend to be a rather quiet. I don't often get if I in a situation like that, I might just go into the shop and get my groceries and leave. I found myself chatting with all the people in the queue, and there was so much love and warmth and community, and irrespective of who the people were, where we came from, there was all we were feeling was our shared humanity, and it was very loving. So even in times like, and I'm sure there are many people on this meeting this evening who have experienced this. So it doesn't take much. You find yourself standing in a queue, albeit 6 feet away from your next person, just to start up a conversation with them, and irrespective of the content of the conversation, to just communicate this warmth and love and affection and peace to them. And they will come away from the conversation feeling that they have been blessed by you. When I say blessed by you, I don't mean anything extraordinary or religious. So I just mean that they have been blessed by your peace. They felt that you were not afraid. You were just one with the moment, no problem. And that they will have felt that, and their being, which they may not have previously had access to because of their fear and their anxiety, will have been magnified by your presence, and they will feel the peace of their own being, and they will feel that you have blessed them. They won't formulate it like that probably, but you have blessed them. You've blessed them with your peace. That's beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I'll try.
You don't even need to try, Joanna. If you're in touch with your peace, peace is contagious. If you're in touch with it, it just communicates itself effortlessly through words, through gestures, through a smile, through silence. You don't even need to try, Joanna. Just be in touch with your innate peace, and it will just share itself naturally in your own unique way with whoever you come in contact with. That is the greatest thing you could offer your fellow New Yorkers at this time. Just smiling at a stranger as you walk down the street is a communication of this peace. There could never have been a time, at least in our generation, when this was more needed than now.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joanne.